Hey guys, how's it going? And happy Tuesday. I hope all of you are doing good, or at least as good as you can be, especially if you're from Michigan, because 4 more gun control bills have just been filed in the House today, plus more news, which is not good. Now, I am going to do short videos on all of these. However, with it being this late at night, I don't have time to go through the editing, the uploading, the review process of YouTube. So we're going to do it live just to get with you guys as quick as possible. I'm going to start out at the very beginning, just naming these bills. For those of you that want to know what's going on, the brief, 1,000-foot flyover version, I'm going to talk about them a little bit too. Also, some other things that I'm learning are developing in Lansing that I don't want to say which is worse. All of this is worse. The right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. And if we had even one gun control law in this country or state of Michigan, that would be the worst. But here we are right now. And if my quick math is correct, we're up to now 19 gun control bills in the House, 11 in the Senate. The Capitol Commission is having meetings, getting ready to ban guns that way at the Capitol, as well as some prospective news from Speaker Tate when he had an interview with Detroit Free Press today. And I'll cut right to the chase with that. Speaker Tate said he is considering, or he's open to, an assault weapons ban in Michigan. And there's more that's on the table that I know about too behind the scenes. So here we go. We're going to be looking at 4 bills tonight briefly. House Bill 4125 is another one. 4205, open carry of assault weapons within 1,000 feet of a government building would be banned. We have House Bill number 4198, which is going to ban or restrict open carry on local government levels. Local. So not Lansing. This is your hometown. And by the way, I appreciate all of you being here from Michigan, and shout out to all of you from other states who are here, realizing that we need your support right now, and that Michigan falls, it's just that much closer to all of the states falling. We're looking at House Bill number 4203, sales and transfers, bumping it up from 18 to 21 in a bunch of different scenarios. House Bill 4206, which is going to codify this into criminal law, and we're going to see a new section here, openly carrying assault weapons within 1,000 feet of certain locations, and the criminal liabilities for different offenses. So 4206 is the punishment portion. This still counts as a gun control bill. And then we have these 3 more. Now, the 11 Senate bills that are also in the House. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you go back and check out my previous videos over the past 2 weeks, because there's been a lot, and I've gone in detail about all of these, some brief videos. I've done some long format streams. So if you're new here and you don't know where to start, hang out with us tonight and then go back and watch my videos over the past couple weeks. So those 11 bills, if you wanted to call them 3 broad topics, we're talking universal background checks, red flag laws, and safe storage. I've talked about those a lot, so that brings us up to that point. We also have House Bills 4127 and 4128, which would ban guns within certain newly restricted areas considering elections, and it's no longer election day anymore. It's election season. Banning guns from within a certain amount of feet of a polling location, which could include places like your township hall where you have to do business, churches, schools, other places. 4128 would take it where any of these ballot drop boxes, which there's numerous ballot drop boxes in Michigan, from what I understand, more to come. We don't know where they're all at. You wouldn't be allowed within a certain amount of feet of those, including even if you lived there and tried to leave your house or were driving down the street. So that's going to make large portions of Michigan a gun-free zone. Fast forwarding to 4149 and 4150, basically prohibiting concealed carry at state-owned buildings, which can include many buildings, not just the obvious ones like the Capitol building, but state police stations are owned by the state. Rest areas, from what I understand, are owned by the state, like off the freeways in Michigan, as well as different places like the state park, which would have different buildings in it and places like that. So far-reaching gun-free zones there. That's House Bill HB 4149 and 4150. Those are huge. I talked about those in a previous stream, and I can't keep up with doing separate short videos on these. I am going to catch up, guys. It's just literally happening so fast. I've got an old computer. I have primitive software. It takes me a couple hours just to do a 7-minute video. I don't have time, or this stuff, it'll already be tomorrow by the time I could go through and edit these videos. So 4203. This is insane. Actually, all of these are insane. I'm going to go through these in just 1 minute. I just wanted to give a shout out to a couple people real quick. First of all, big shout out to Representative Jamie Thompson. She's my state rep. You've seen her on this channel before in a video with Senator Bellino, as well as she joined me right here in the shop for a live stream recently. Look, guys, she's texting me about this stuff at 9 o'clock at night. She's, quote, off work, doesn't need to care about this, but she does care about it. That's who she is. So we've got a state rep that's still working on this and helping as much as they can get the word out at 9 o'clock at night when she has to start working early tomorrow. So big shout out to her. She's in Lansing right now. I'm not there at the moment, but I will be there tomorrow with her and trying to encourage as many reps and senators as I possibly can. Also, big shout out to Lori DeVries, who's in the chat here. And she's with the Restore Freedom channel with both of our friend Catherine Henry, who's also been a multiple-time guest on this channel. I just put a brief link down in the description. Make sure you check out their channel. Literally working on my car today. My car broke down 2 days ago. Working on my car in the shop parking lot, and she's texting me these bill numbers, brief summaries of them. So thank you, Lori. I would have found out about these, but I was literally like wrenching like under my hood, and by you doing that, I was able to get this out here. So thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Also, shout out to all of you guys who have been financially supporting this channel. You guys are literally awesome. I'm going to give you a 1-minute story, and then I'm going to jump right into this. So I was out late 2 nights ago. I had been salting and was driving my car to a gas station, and all of a sudden, it just fell flat on its face. Like the more gas I give it, the more it would sputter and stumble. Stalled out at the red light, barely got it started, got it back to the shop. You could drive it, but not much. Well, I put my code scanner on it. Random cylinder misfire. Okay. I needed plugs and wires, did those anyways. That didn't fix it. Started swapping out ignition coils. Still no spark from 2 of the cylinders. I've got a V8 3800 motor. It's on Buick LaCrosse. So I'm like, oh my gosh, bad module. I'm like, all right, let's see here. So I swapped that out. Well, it ended up being the main ignition control module, right? Which sits right underneath. So I had a choice. It was going to be $75 to buy the part. That's actually better than what AutoZone carries if I would have ordered it, but it wasn't going to get here online until this Friday. I'm like, I have to get to Lansing tomorrow. And I also have to get there Thursday. And I have to stay up late tonight reporting. So it was $250 for that ignition control module at AutoZone. If it was just me personally, I would have bummed around in the work truck for a couple days. But you guys needed me in Lansing tomorrow, and I am going to be there tomorrow. So I spent $175 extra on that part so I can be in Lansing literally tomorrow. And I'm going to talk about why that matters in just a minute here. So there you guys go. My F-350 dually dump truck, stake truck, I can't drive it to the Capitol because it's too tall. It literally won't fit in the parking structure. So I bought the part for 3 times more than what I wanted to spend for it. But you guys have been generous in your support. And this is just one example of me putting it right back into the channel. So thank you to all of you. I don't want to just name one person because so many of you guys have been chipping in the last week or so, financially helping support the channel. And yes, it cost me a lot of money, but I am doing it and still making these trips. So anyways, stuff's moving quick. I'm going to talk about these bills in 2 minutes. It's hard for me to even organize here because I literally just got done working at the car, tried to clean some of the dirt out from under my nails. But tomorrow we are expecting a vote on the, let me check this real quick to make sure I have the right one, but I believe it's going to be the universal background checks, We are literally expecting a vote tomorrow. Yes, the universal background check expansion in the House. If you guys saw this video that I did just a few days ago with Senator Bellino and Representative Thompson, Bellino was pretty candid in that video. I suggest you guys go watch it if you want to know about immediate effect and why you still need to be calling reps and senators right now, no matter what. Because even if you're just wanting to crawl in a hole and say this is all going to pass, it's not that simple. This is not a binary thing where it either just passes or it just doesn't. There's two different ways in which it could pass. And depending how it passes the Senate, if these do pass, it could be a heck of a lot worse, like almost infinitely worse. So we need to look at immediate effect and look at that. But Senator Bellino just basically said, yeah, they're going to try to shove this stuff through as much as they can in the Senate. He had said next week, which is now this week, like tomorrow or the next day. Don't know for sure on that, but that's probable. Now, for a bill to become a law, it has to pass the House and the Senate and then be signed by the governor. Of course, the governor is going to sign these. She's the one demanding these. So I now literally have official word. I'm not going to say who it's from because I don't want the other side to know my sources and my means of investigation. But let's just say I'm fairly well connected in Lansing at this point. Been talking to lots of people. That's what I've been doing when I go up there is I walk around and talk to person after person, trying to see where we can gain support, trying to see where we need to focus on, things like that. And if you check my locals community, it's a censorship-free site. There's a link right down in the description of this live stream where you'll be able to see a post. Now, I didn't get the 4 new updated bills on there yet. Those literally just found out. Those just got posted a few hours ago. But besides those, you'll see all the current bills and then a list of the key senators and representatives to be focusing on the Democrat side. And I'm going to tell you right now, focus on all the Republicans too. Literally, we can't take them for granted at all. I have suspicions we definitely can't take all of them for granted. But yes, tomorrow the background checks bill is expected to be put forth on the House floor. Now, I couldn't help but to notice earlier today the House had a committee. I believe it was on 4127 and 4128. That's now gone through committee. It's considered to have been read a second time. All it now needs to be done is read a third time on the floor and they can vote on it. There's another hearing tomorrow, and I believe that's going to be on 4149 and 4150. If you don't know what those are, rewind this video just a little bit or check out all my recent videos if you're just now getting in on the fight. And this is unscripted, guys. That's why I'm saying I believe. I don't want to give you guys bad information. I just don't have time for a well-polished presentation tonight, unfortunately. But we had a couple bills go through the House committee today. There's 2 more tomorrow. These hearings are a dog and pony show. I saw the Senate hearings last week where Professor John Lott was there. If you want to read his book, More Guns, Less Crime, I left a link down in the description there. It's a great resource. John Lott is like one of the best resources to prove that if there's more guns, there's less crime. And when there's gun control, crime always goes up. Probably one of the best people to have to testify. They let him and one other person testify in the last Senate committee. I believe it was 25 people from the anti-gun, including many prominent organizations that are backed by billionaires, as you guys already know. 25 anti-gunners were allowed to testify. 2 pro-Second Amendment people were allowed to testify. Yeah, it's literally, again, a dog and pony show. Now, keep in mind, the Democrats hold the House majority by 2 seats. Okay? The Senate is held by a 2-seat majority by the Democrats. This is not a super majority, but they're acting like it is. And they're often setting these committees up 7-2 with 7 Democrats on the committee, 2 Republicans. Maybe if we're lucky, 6-3 sometimes. But those are pretty accurate numbers there. So assault weapons bill is on the table, guys. 3 main topics, 3 subjects, but 4 gun control bills put forth today. That's in addition to the 15 that were already in the House, 11 in the Senate, and we can expect these House bills to have concurrent bills in the Senate here very soon. I see Lori in the chat there. Let me know, Lori. Did the Senate bills come out today too? Thank you so much, Lori. If you guys want to see what Lori's doing to be a freedom fighter, check out the Restore Freedom channel. I left a link right down there in the description. And I see the Crazy Heathen. Shout out to your channel, man. Building culture. He's organizing rallies. You guys ask about that. Check out my community post here on YouTube as well as my Facebook. And Phil has at least one rally pending. And I believe behind the scenes, he's working on at least one more. And I believe you provided security for Catherine at speaking events plenty of times, Phil. So it's kind of a small world, but at the same time, a pretty big and scary world at the moment with all this stuff going on. All right. House Bill 4203. So it's going to amend the Public Act. Look, every time we look at these, I want to make a quick note. We're looking at 1931. A lot of them say 1927. Not only would none of these bills, none of these 20-something bills in the House, none of them would have stopped what happened in Michigan State. Provably not. And all the gun control we've been living under, the boot of the government we've been living under since the 1920s. You know, gun control actually literally started in Michigan in 1877. And none of the laws that were already on the book stopped this. But I don't think this is about saving lives at all. This is about restriction. This is about control. And this is something I've been talking about in my live streams on here since I started this channel. They're coming after the Second Amendment, not for when, not for if, but for when they come for all the rest. And once the Second Amendment falls, we won't lose our natural right to keep and bear arms because the government did not grant. And it can't take it away, however. Once it takes away the free exercise thereof, we're going to see a lot of good people locked up. We're going to even see more and more good people who do follow orders and do follow laws become disarmed. So without them being able to take it away, these laws will make us less safe because many people will be complying with these bills when or if they become laws. So just think about that. When you talk about gun control, there's two words there. And a lot of people, I think, make the mistake that the operative word is gun. No, the operative word's not gun, and it never has been. The operative word is control. These are control bills because even Mao himself, Mao, you know, the Cultural Revolution in China, where hundreds of millions probably, we'll never know how many, but even the experts agree it's over 100 million people died. During their Cultural Revolution, many starved to death, many of them killed at the hands of their own government. Many people had to flee. Even Mao said, and this is not a good person, but he was correct. He said all political power comes from the barrel of a gun. And clearly these legislators in the majority in Michigan and the governor know that. And I believe they understand that very, very clearly. Because the police are always exempt from these. The military is always exempt from these. So it's not that these people don't like guns. They love guns. And they understand the power that holding a gun wields. So the operative word in gun control is control, because they just don't want you to have guns, while they'll continue to have as many and even more than you'd ever believe. A person knowingly, this is 4203. It says a person knowingly sells a pistol without complying with Section 2 of the 1927 Public Act. There we go. 100 years of tyranny, and we become less safe every time they pass one more of these. Is guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by imprisonment for not more than 90 days. So there you go, 90 days. A person knowingly sells a firearm more than 26 inches in length to a person under, it used to be 18 years old. Now it says 21 years of age, is guilty of a misdemeanor. A second subsequent violation of this section is a felony, punishable by imprisonment 4 years and a fine of up to $2,000. It also talks about affirmative. It is an affirmative defense to a prosecution under this subsection that the person who sold the firearm asked to see and was shown the license or identification thereof. Okay, some of this is part of the old law, but we see again here it was crossed out from 18 to 21. Let's keep going here a little further. They're talking about parts of the Department of Natural Resources. They're saying it doesn't apply to certain situations, like if you're, however, an individual less than 21, and this was the same law as before, it's just gone from 18 to 21. An individual of less than 21 years of age may possess a firearm without a hunting license while at or going to or from a recognized target range or trap or skeet shooting ground if, while going to or from the range or ground, the firearm is enclosed and securely fastened in a case or locked in the trunk of a motor vehicle. There's also some exceptions for hunting, because that's what the Second Amendment was about, is trap and skeet and hunting. What do you guys think? Is there anybody at this point that still thinks that? I don't think you guys do, but you might be surprised some of your friends. You might want to let them know it's not about hunting and skeet. Okay, this is all of these are previously part of the law, different school zones, things like that. It changes an individual who is 21 now years of age or older, who is not a student of the school, possesses a firearm on school property while transporting the student to or from the school, if any of the following apply. So if you're under 21, if you're 19 and you're on your way to the range, you won't even be able to have the gun in the trunk of the car when you're dropping your kid brother off at school. This could affect people, definitely. Let me go through here a little bit more. Yeah, basically, you guys can read this. I don't want this stream to go too long, but there was a bunch of exceptions where people under 18 didn't have the right to keep and bear arms in many instances in Michigan. Now it's changing it to 21. That's the moral of the story here. I will do some further research and do a more polished, shorter video of it. I'll just tell you guys by the end of the week. I want to tell you tomorrow, but I have to be boots on the ground in Lansing tomorrow, no matter what. It's like super critical the next 2 days. And who knows? They might have a dozen more gun control bills posted within the next 48 hours. So I wish I was being sarcastic, but I'm actually not. House Bill 4198, open carry local government. This is a doozy. This is a doozy. Okay. This act does not prohibit a local unit of government from doing any of the following. Now, keep in mind, right now, as we speak, this is just a House bill. But if this were to become law, which it probably will, and evil will always prevail when good men do nothing, unless you guys really, really, really get on the stick and get focused on this stuff. This is like, can I vent to you guys for 10 seconds? This is where we all need to have each other's back. I still have people, not really on here as much, because you guys get it, I think, by now, you guys that watch my channel. But I'm still walking up to people in real life, and they're saying, yeah, right, give me a break. But the Second Amendment says shall not be infringed. They ain't going to pass this. This is all just to scare us. No, they're literally working on ramming this down our throats as fast as possible. If you don't believe me, or your friends don't believe me, have them watch my video just from last week. I believe I put the video out on Friday. You can see a sitting senator, Senator Joe Bellino, saying, yeah, they're just cramming it down our throats. They're probably going to try to pass this stuff next week, which next week is now this week. It's a fine line. People love to fearmonger and clickbait on the internet. And unfortunately, since so many people do that, you guys probably are looking at me with a leery eye. This is not clickbait. This is not fear-mongering. I'm talking like they're literally in the process, as we speak, having dog and pony show, committee hearings. They're cramming this down our throats in lightning speed. And I don't want to call anybody out in a certain area, but I walked into a representative's office last week. And I said, besides the lobbyists, because they come and go out of every office all day long. That's just how government works. Besides the lobbyists, how many just regular constituents have come into this office? And they looked at me and said, still only you. So I don't think a lot of people get this yet, what's going on here. And once you lose the free exercise of these rights, you ain't never, ever getting them back. When's the last time you guys remember them enacting a public act? Even when we had control, when we had Snyder as the governor, the Republican, right? And Michigan, the Republicans had control of the House and Senate. Did they repeal all of the gun control laws that we had since 1927? No, they didn't. Do you remember on the federal level when Trump was in office and the Senate with Mitch McConnell was majority Republican and the House at that time was the majority of Paul Ryan? We were thinking to ourselves, we're going to get the Hearing Protection Act. We're going to repeal the NFA. It should have been like ordering whatever pro-gun bill we want off the menu at McDonald's. They didn't do that. Republicans never, ever, ever take this back. So once you lose it, it's not usually so good. Remind your friends of that in Michigan and all of these 50 states that you guys would be hanging out in. This is a doozy. We have preemption in Michigan right now saying that a locality, a city, a village, a whatever, a town can't have more restrictive gun control laws than the state laws. This is attacking that right here. This act does not prohibit a local unit of government from doing any of the following: prohibiting or regulating conduct with a pistol or firearm or pneumatic gun that is a criminal offense under state law. Okay. Prohibiting or regulating the transporting, carrying, or possession of pistols, other firearms, or pneumatic guns. Pneumatic means air gun. Yeah, air gun. Okay. By employees of that local unit of government in the course of their employment with the local unit of government. So now they're saying local government employees. Okay. Regulating the possession of pneumatic guns within the local unit of government by requiring that an individual who is less than 16 years of age, who is in possession of a pneumatic gun, be under the supervision of a parent, a guardian, or an individual 18 years of age or older, except that an ordinance shall not regulate possession of a pneumatic gun on or within private property if the individual who is less than 16 years of age is authorized by a parent or guardian and the property owner or legal possessor to possess the pneumatic gun. I'm reading this real quickly, not a lawyer. This sounds like it would mess with people who are trying to hunt around the area with their BB gun. I mean, I just read it word for word. D, prohibiting an individual from pointing, waving about, or displaying a pneumatic gun in a threatening manner with the intent to induce fear in another individual. I'm pretty sure that's already illegal. And here we go. Prohibiting the open carry of firearms within the local unit of government. And it says right at the beginning, Section 3, this act does not prohibit a local unit of government from doing any of the following. So at the very beginning, the original Public Act, okay, of 1990, we talk about the state having preemption, says an act to prohibit local units of government from imposing certain restrictions on the ownership, registration, purchase, sale, transfer, transportation, or possession of pistols, other firearms, or pneumatic guns, ammunition for pistols or other firearms, or components of pistols or other firearms. That's how the law works now. The law right now says local units of government cannot impose these. However, as I just read, now this is the new one, the updated one. This act does not prohibit a local unit of government from doing any of the following. So we're talking about government employees being restricted on being able to transport, carry, or possess, okay, in their course of employment. Possession of pneumatic guns, so that's air guns, okay, and then we go down to D is kind of obvious, to be honest. I believe that's already against the law to point in a menacing way. Basically what they're doing is they're codifying into law, in my opinion. Back then, Attorney General Jennifer Granholm, before she was governor, she was Attorney General, and they've been relying on an Attorney General's opinion for what illegal brandishing would be. Now I see it codified in a law here. And then prohibiting the open carry of firearms within local units of government. So the way I read this is city of whatever, county or whatever, township of whatever, could now say no more open carry. In Frenchtown Township, in Detroit City. Hope I'm wrong. Not a lawyer, guys, but that's what it says right on its face. House Bill number 4205. This is with open carrying of a quote, and I'm using quotes, but I am going to use these words because they're the words of the bill, guys. Assault weapon. Yes, it's a made-up propaganda word. There is no true definition of assault weapon. There is for assault rifle, but for the most part, unless you're really rich and have one grandfathered in with a tax stamp that was registered before May of 1986, virtually nobody has those. Unless you're rich, then you can have as many as you want. Okay. This is assault weapon. Yes, it's a made-up word, but I have to use the word because it's in the bill. People always get on me afterwards. Why did you say assault weapon? I know. That's literally what it's called, though. The people of the state of Michigan enact a person who openly carries an assault weapon within 1,000 feet of a government building, courthouse, or school, knowing that the person is within 1,000 feet of a government building, courthouse, or school, is guilty of a crime as follows. For a first offense, the person is guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable for not more than 90 days, or a fine of not more than $2,500 or both. That's a heavy misdemeanor. Jeez, oh, Pete, $2,500? That's your first offense. But wait, there's more. For a second offense, the person is guilty of a misdemeanor, punishable by imprisonment of not more than 1 year, or a fine of not more than $5,000 or both. But that's not all. For a third or subsequent offense, the person is guilty of a felony, punishable by imprisonment for not more than 5 years, or a fine of not more than $10,000 or both. Now, as I said before, subsection 1 does not apply to law enforcement officer performing the law enforcement official's duties as a law enforcement officer. As used in this section, do you guys want to know what an assault weapon is? Does anyone want to know what an assault weapon is? This gets pretty thick. I want to laugh at this, but I can't because it's actually like that serious. And they're really actually doing this like right now. Okay? Look, my state representative, she's a rock star. Jamie Thompson. You've seen her on here. I work the closest with her because she's my state rep. There's lots of other ones that are awesome too. I was texting another state rep while they were on the House floor earlier. Another state rep right after they were done. Jamie's up after 9 o'clock at night working on this stuff. So this is not a joke. I'm just letting you guys know this. Okay. Assault weapon includes any of the following. Any weapon which has a belt-fed ammunition system. A semi-automatic rifle that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine system and has any one of the following. This is going to sound just like the Dianne Feinstein assault weapons ban. Worse than the 94, but all of the ones she's been introducing in the United States Senate ever since. It doesn't say that it has to currently have a detachable magazine. It has to have the ability to accept it. And any one of the following. A folding or telescoping stock. A shroud that is attached to, or partially, or completely encircles the barrel that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with their non-trigger hand without being burned. Back to that again. They're always wanting you to burn and hurt yourself. This is for the safety, but they're telling you can't have anything on your firearm that prevents you from burning yourself. A semi-automatic pistol that has the ability to accept a detachable magazine and has any of the following. A folding or telescoping stock. It wouldn't be a pistol anymore if it had a stock. Duh. Hold on a minute. I've said 5 times now, I'm not a lawyer. Apparently these people aren't either, but whatever. Hopefully they keep that in there. A folding or telescoping stock for a pistol? It can't be a pistol if it has a stock. It would be an SBR. The whole thing where braces, they're saying, are allegedly stocks, therefore making them SBRs. Braces are not stocks. And we need to make sure that one gets won in court too. Look, this is their words, not mine. A pistol with a folding or telescoping stock, that's a conundrum. It doesn't exist, but I'll continue. A shroud that is attached to, or partially, or completely encircles the barrel that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with their non-trigger hand without being burned. The capacity to accept a detachable magazine at a location outside of the pistol grip. So think about this AR pistol. It's got hand guards. There's a point against it. It already takes a detachable mag. You're already done. But by the way, its magazine is held outside of the pistol grip. So you're done again with the AR or AK or CZ Scorpion or any type of those pistols you could think about where the mag does not go into the actual pistol grip. And then it goes on one more time. They're doubling down. A detachable shoulder stock, allowing the shooter to fire the pistol from a shoulder fired position. It's not a pistol at that point. It would be an SBR, but whatever. I digress. All right, here's for the FUDs. Hold on a minute. Do you guys know any FUDs out there? Do you know any FUD hunters out there? Let me stop. All hunters are not FUDs. Some of the biggest hunters I know are the biggest patriots. They understand what from my cold dead hands means, and you guys understand why the Second Amendment's there. I'm talking about the other type of hunters that say you don't need. All you need is a shotgun. So this is for the FUDs. They're even coming after the FUDs. A semi-automatic shotgun. No, I'm not joking. Just buy a shotgun. Oh, right here. A semi-automatic shotgun. There you go. Tell your FUD friends that. Say, well, hold on a minute. They're even coming after your shotgun. And they'll say, oh, no, ain't nobody coming for your guns. Boy, oh boy, if this wasn't a family-friendly show. I want to keep this family-friendly. I like it that a lot of you have your small children. And if you guys want to cuss in the home, that's fine. But I don't want to be a negative role model to, hopefully a lot of you are having your kids watch this right now. But off camera, I'll tell you some words I'd have for some of those FUDs. And I'm not censoring myself for YouTube, guys. I literally believe that. People with small children, they'll decide how they want their kids to learn cursing and at what age. I firmly believe in that right of the parents. Okay, so a shotgun that has a folding or telescoping stock, contains its ammunition in a revolving cylinder, has an ability to accept a detachable magazine of more than 5 rounds of ammunition. Assault weapon does not include any of the following: a firearm that is manually operated by bolt, pump, lever, or slide action, an unserviceable firearm or one that has been deemed permanently inoperable, or an antique firearm that is defined by 18 USC 921A. Yeah, that would be like 1898. You'd have to go back to. Government building, listen to this, includes a federal, state, county, or local government building. So it basically, for the most part, prohibits semi-automatic anything, for the most part, for within 1,000 feet of being openly carried. Any government building, federal, state, county, or local government. For the most part, this would ban open carry in Michigan. Let's just call a spade a spade. That was House Bill 4205, if anybody was wondering. Now, keep in mind, this is in Michigan here. This is the first time in 40, 50 years that the Republicans have not held the majority in the House and Senate. Even now, where the Democrats have the trifecta, they have the governorship, the House, and the Senate. They have a 2-seat majority, like 2 seats exactly in each one. And they're literally running through this state. No offense to anyone that lives there, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Shout out to all of you that are in New York, New Jersey, California. However, Michigan's not New York, New Jersey, or California. And I'm not talking about my opinion of which one I like better. Just simply if you look at the numbers of seats that are in the state legislature. I can tell you guys what's going on right now. And this is very important. I keep going back to this because I tried to explain it the best I could, and then I had Senator Joe Bellino talk about it more. I really encourage all of you, if you have not yet, and tell your friends to watch that video I just put out last week. It says State Representative Jamie Thompson and Senator Joe Bellino in the title. This is very, very important. In the state of Michigan, bills, if they become law, can pass 2 different ways. They can pass where they would take immediate effect, or they can pass where they do not take immediate effect. Due to just the way things are in Michigan right now, it's very probable, almost inevitable, that many, if not all of these, are going to pass. However, it's not just, oh, they passed, I don't care, head in the sand, whatever. No, it actually matters, because if these bills cannot take immediate effect and instead wouldn't go into effect until 90 days after the session ends, that would give much needed time, valuable time for litigation. In my opinion, and I think a lot of yours, these clearly fly in the face. Almost all of these, if not all of these, fly in the face of very important landmark common law, which is known as case law. We have two basic types of law in this country. Often, neither of them are followed. We have the actual text law, which would be a well-regulated militia being necessary, right? Okay, so if you look back at the Second Amendment, that's the law of the land. Yeah, they violate that. The other type of law we have, the common law system, is based on court precedent or case law, which the supreme case law is set by the Supreme Court of the United States. So we look at very important recent cases such as Heller, McDonald, New York State Rifle and Pistol Association v. Bruin, known as the Bruin case. I believe almost all of these violate that. And I'm sure there's going to be lawsuits that have merit, that would have to have time, though, to go through the United States District Court. If a district judge doesn't put in a restraining order or injunction, it would have to go up to the 6th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals on the west side of the state. If they don't put a stay or injunction against it, it would have to go to an en banc hearing. If they still don't put a stay or injunction on it, it would have to go all the way back up to the United States Supreme Court. This can take a while. This can take a year or two. So it's not just as simple as, oh, it passes or it doesn't pass. No, there's multiple ways it can pass. Right now in the House, they technically have to have a supermajority for it to take immediate effect. However, if you see the way they truly do it, that's almost the same dog and pony show as the way they do their committees. So here's how it'll work. They'll do a roll call vote where it's recorded on the actual bill itself. Sometimes. But assuming they do, the representatives sit at a desk. I was able to sit at my state representative's desk on opening day on the 11th of January. And there's a red button and a green button. Red means no, green means yes. They hit that and their name goes up on the board. Green's a yay, red's a nay. So assuming it passes party lines. Now don't assume that, because there's Republicans that I'm suspicious of that are going to go over with the Dems. I don't know exactly who they are yet, but I'm working on that. So it passes by a simple majority. Then they'll immediately come back up there. The majority floor leader, his name's Ayash. His last name is Ayash, okay? He'll come up and seek recognition. And the chair, the speaker, or the person that's the acting speaker will say, for what purposes does the floor majority leader seek recognition? And he'll say, I seek recognition to pass with immediate effect. Now, instead of having them all do a roll call vote on the board where all the people from Michigan can see what their vote is, okay, they'll literally just say, okay. They'll tell the clerk. The clerk is the one that's down a couple feet lower in the front of the chamber. That's the clerk of the House. They'll say, clerk, open the board, and they'll call for a roll call vote, a voice vote. And there's this little like pencil looking thing they tap. They'll go tap, 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 and then boom, they'll gavel it. And then they'll say, in the opinion of the chair, the ayes have it. Now, one Democrat could have said aye, just humor me here, and 40 Republicans could have screamed at the top of their lungs and said, nay. And you'll often hear this if you go back and watch the House session hearings. They're available on the House TV portion of the Michigan.gov site. All right. It's basically whoever the chair is, whoever holds the gavel, the power's in the gavel, which Representative Thompson explained in that video that I did with Senator Bellino last week. So they'll go through this dog and pony show vote. It won't matter. And they'll say, yep, it passed with a supermajority. And then if there's 21 Republicans, this is according to the Constitution and the laws of Michigan, if they were to contest that, they could make a roll call vote. But the problem is the power's in the gavel. My state representative stood up there seeking recognition to speak on a bill just last week, and they wouldn't let her speak. And if you try to speak, they'll say you're out of order and gavel you down. So that's a dog and pony show, in my opinion, and I think most people's opinion, if you watch how the House actually does these votes. Now, the Senate still has different rules, as Senator Bellino explained in that video last week. They actually can force them to request the ayes and nays recorded on the board, like a straight up yes and no vote for immediate effect. And that's why this matters. Because right now, 4 Republicans would have to come over with the Democrats to get these to pass with the required supermajority for immediate effect in the Senate. I did a stream about a week or so ago on here. Maybe it was a week and a half ago. I can't remember now because, well, when they're putting out an average of 1 or more gun control bills a day, well, they're averaging about 2 a day for the past 2 weeks. It's just hard to even keep track at all. But I remember telling you guys this. I said, guys, they have all these bills up right now, and they're really bad. But depending on how much pushback they get, depends on how much more they're going to put forth. And unfortunately, I'm not mad at any of you guys watching right now. You guys have been offering me a lot of encouragement, and please tell me what you're doing to try to keep me going. Your financial support literally helped me fix my car today and pays for the parking and the gas for me to get there. Your moral support gives me the encouragement to wake up in the morning and keep fighting this fight. Both very important. So I ain't mad at you guys watching right now, but don't get mad at me and shoot the messenger. I'm going to be frank with you. People in Michigan haven't been doing enough the last couple weeks and haven't really been taking the time to call or write or talk to their friends. Now, I know you have, and so have I. I get it, guys. And please tell me what you guys are doing. I'm the last person that's dismissing you. What I'm saying is there's 169 people watching right now, which is a lot. But there's 10 million people that live in Michigan. 10 million. And a lot of you have been sharing my videos on Facebook, and that's helping. It is helping. But many people in Michigan, way too many, are kind of asleep at the wheel right now. Or they're just in denial, and they're saying, like, ain't nobody coming for your guns. It can't happen. And I'm a nobody. Who cares if I notice that? But here's the problem. The people in Lansing are noticing that right now. By them noticing that, they're saying, oh, really? So there's this little pushback? How about this? How about that? Now, there's several ways that you can hold them accountable. Some of which I'm not going to talk about right now because we're not that far down the road. I'd hope we don't get that far down the road. However, I'm talking right now in the short term. We have to win this culture war because politics is downstream from culture. I truly believe that. And that's why the other side is in the process of trying to do so much winning, because they've been working on the culture war for a long time. That's why when there's a hearing in the state house or state senate, 100 people show up anti-2A. 3, 4, 5, 6 people show up pro 2A because they've got that part down. They've mastered the culture of trying to destroy America. Most of us say we just want to be left alone. And I understand that because I do too. So I think the most important thing is we have to talk to our friends, family, neighbors, people at church, work, on the internet, in real life, on the street corner, in the pub, in the tavern, wherever you're at, in the middle of the woods. Wherever you need to talk to people, we need to talk. Because the only way we're ever going to take this back is if we go over the head of the government and take this to the American people. And in this case, specifically right here with the Michigan people. If we organize behind something, we're not the least powerful. We're the most powerful branch of government. And that's how this republic was set up. This republic, if you can keep it, as Ben Franklin said. That's most important, I think, hands down. Second of all, because we need to do more than one thing right now, because we're behind the 8 ball, as the old saying goes. We need to always do that. We should have been doing that a long time ago, and we need to start doing more of it right now and in the future. Period. End of story. As far as these legislators go, you can threaten them with your vote. You can threaten them with primary. And that's very important, and you should threaten them with that. Because power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. And a lot of these people don't want to lose that power. A lot of them have worked their whole life to get enough power to be a sitting Michigan legislator. But we don't need to wait that long either. I did a video talking with my friend Brendan from Great Lakes Gun Rights. They've been doing a lot. They've been the most active of any of the, quote, gun rights groups that I've seen, that I know of. And when I say the groups, I mean the ones that you pay dues and get a membership to, and they do actual lobbying at the Capitol. Now, a lot of the other groups, I'm not throwing them under the bus, they tend to be the wait till it passes and then litigate in court type. Great Lakes Gun Rights has been fighting boots on the ground. I've seen the man up there. Tom Lambert from Michigan Open Carry. He's been boots on the ground. I've seen the man up there. Okay. My friend Rob from 2A Patriot. He's going to be there tomorrow. If you guys are familiar with his group. Okay. So there's a few. We're talking recalls. Great Lakes Gun Rights, their parent organization, did recall 3 sitting senators from Colorado when they passed their magazine ban about 10 years ago. And he can't legally file for recall yet. You have to wait 6 months into the term of a newly elected representative and 1 year into the term of a senator who served 2 and 4 year terms respectively. But that's not to say he can't get the printing presses warmed up. And he is getting them warmed up, and he is talking about that. So that's something that you guys can look forward to. That's something you can talk about with your friends to your legislator. And say, look, there's the ballot box, but it might not take that long. We're getting ready to spread the good news about a possible potential, you'd have to call it, recall after 6 months. You can't organize a recall yet. There's not an official one being organized yet, but pursuant to Michigan law, that can be organized soon. This is not good news, but we have to have something to look forward to. Because if you have hope, you have nothing left at all. This is the main thing I want you guys to focus on with your friends right now. Call. Write. Go there in person and talk. Tell them for 2 reasons. First of all, we need to prevent all these from passing. And if we can't prevent any or all of them from passing, we need to prevent them from passing with immediate effect. That gives time for the third branch of government, okay, to take over the court system with lawsuits, litigation, which I believe hopefully would be and probably would be successful with many of these. So that's very important. Also, talking about these recalls, that's basically exercising the fourth branch of government, if you really will. Because if you look at the Federalists, when they formed this government, remember I've talked about this in a lot of my live streams, but I'll say it again so you guys can have these conversations with your friends, your family, and your legislators. They need to be educated on what form of government we have too. I think especially right now, they need to be educated more than they ever have been before. They said if men were angels, we need no government at all. But since men are not angels, we are going to need a government. But the only reason the government would exist at all is to protect your natural rights. All men are created equal, and they're endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. And among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's what Thomas Jefferson said. July 4th, 1776. And the government would be instituted among men. And then we would have a government that to you would seem most likely to affect your safety and happiness. That's why we would need to install a government to protect our natural rights from each other, to protect us from mob rule, to protect us from a tyranny of the majority, which is why we are not a straight democracy, but a representative constitutional republic. That if there would be one person in the United States that wants to exercise a certain unalienable right, the government would protect them from all 10 million other Michiganians or 330 million Americans. That's why the government was put in there. Now, they said if government were angels, we wouldn't need any checks, right? But since government are certainly not angels, we need internal checks. That's where we're talking about the court system, and external checks on the government. And that's you. That's the Michigan and the American people. So we can still slow down the bleeding. You have to slow down the bleeding before you can even have a chance to go into surgery. Just think about that for a minute right now. And I know a lot of your friends, because I'm talking to a lot of people, some of them in the comment sections, maybe unfortunately in this video, some of them from the community post I put up tonight. They're saying it's all over with, nothing matters anymore. Well, if it doesn't matter to you, then I guess it won't matter. And I can't make people care about mattering, but I want all of you that still have a little fight left in you. Some of you just saying you're just starting to fight. Awesome. It can be a lot worse. It's going to be a lot worse. Still need to call. You still need to write. And most importantly, you still need to talk to your friends, because look, we've got these 11 bills that were originated by the Senate. Now they're going through the House. That's the universal background checks, long guns, everything. I've done videos on all these, guys. If you're new to the channel, I appreciate you being here, and go back and check some of my previous recent videos. Red flag laws. That's the most scary, dangerous thing ever. Like literally. I don't want to say which one's more or less worse. They're all worse. They're insane, but red flag's probably actually the worst. Really, if you think about it. Because it doesn't just undermine the Second Amendment, it undermines the 4th, 5th, 14th. It undermines like the whole Constitution of the United States. Shouldn't even be allowed to even be talked about in a republic, in the state of Michigan, in this country. So-called safe storage laws, having to lock your gun up while the criminal comes in ready. Yeah, there's those too. Making it where you can't walk or drive your vehicle or even leave your house if you're so close to a ballot drop box. Yeah, that's working its way right now through committees, through a polling station. But I had to go pay my water bill at the township hall. It doesn't matter. It's a polling place. It's within 40 days. You're within 100 feet. But my dog Snoodles had to take a pee, and I just walked him out on the front porch. That's it, criminal. But it was in my own front yard. Yeah, but there's a ballot box on the corner. Yeah, that's on the table right now. And that's moving through committee. And quickly, too. Quicker than I've ever even thought possible. HR 4149 and 4150 basically strips away even having a CPL. CPL holders won't be able to go to the grocery store anymore while carrying. Won't be able to go into a financial institution anymore while carrying. Won't be able to carry in state government buildings, buildings owned by the state. Many, many, many other places. I'm just barely touching a few of them. They're now deeming to be an assault weapon in the state of Michigan. Anything that has the shoulder thing that goes up or the whatever. Even going after semi-automatic shotguns with 5-round mags. In this whole long list of features. Within 1,000 foot of a government building, any form of government at all, federal all the way down to your local village, and everywhere and anywhere in between. Making it where people that are 18 years of age, who are old enough to go fight and die for their country, carrying a machine gun and explosives and all these things, especially if they're in an infantry unit, they'd be able to do that overseas to protect the freedom and liberty of other countries, but wouldn't be able to bear those here to protect their own country. Just think about that. Think about if you were looking at a strategy and you looked at the intent of the Second Amendment, which is to protect us from people around town that might wish to do us harm, certainly. Also to protect us from any foreign invaders, certainly. But also and especially to protect us from our own tyrannical government. And imagine if at the founding of this country, 1776, the beautiful document was written, the Great Declaration of Independence, but it was over a year earlier. first half of 1775 that the shot heard around the world went off. We're talking a couple key places in Massachusetts, Lexington, Concord. Just think if the 18 to 21-year-olds, which are the most physically fit in many areas, right, in many ways, wouldn't have been allowed to keep and bear arms. Probably wouldn't have fared so well, right? I wonder why they would want to restrict those here in these times in Michigan. I don't really wonder. That was just a hypothetical question. For some of your reasonable, air quotes, leery friends, well, why would somebody need? Well, to protect us from enemies, foreign and domestic. To protect us from a potentially or right now tyrannical government. I mean, this is to the point where if all this stuff passes, instead of me doing a really long video for 2 hours saying all the places you can't carry, I'll probably be able to just come on here next week. Hopefully not next week. I hope you guys are calling and talking to your friends. Do it your way. I'm not going to give you guys a script, but you don't really need to remember all these bills. Just say no gun control bills. That's enough right now. If you're too intimidated and nervous, just call up and say no gun control bills. Okay? Just to let you guys know, a lot of people are kind of afraid of what. Just call and say no gun control bills. And you can say words like, and if you do, I'm going to support a recall if that's what you want to say. But instead of doing a 2-hour video next week, the week after, hopefully not, I hope not. But instead of that, I'll be able to come on here and do a 15-second video. You know what I'm saying, crazy heathen? Hey, guys, here's a 15-second video. I don't know where you can even carry in Michigan anymore. And if you want to be a law-abiding citizen, because we hear that a lot within the gun community, but I'm a law-abiding citizen, yeah, so what? Who cares? Who cares if you have a CPL? These new bills don't care. But I'm a law-abiding citizen. I'll just get on here soon, guys. At this rate, it's getting to be so crazy so fast, and I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, I'll have to come on here all, this is the reasonable gun control channel in Michigan. Ladies and gentlemen, for all of you law-abiding folks, you probably just shouldn't carry it all because there might be 1 square foot somewhere in this state where you can legally carry. Other than that, who knows? I'm not going to do that, but that's pretty much what I could boil all this down to if all this passes. Somewhere there might be a square foot or two, and then there's always the semantics people. Someone will come in the comments and be like, 2AE to you, you're wrong. We got you. I'll be like, really? Do tell. I found this one particular place somewhere way up north where there's 3 square foot that you can have a firearm that's not prohibited. And I'll be like, dang it, they got me. Time to shut the channel down, right? I want to go through all this stuff one by one. And if you just joined me, I did tell you guys right at the very beginning of this stream what they are, the newest ones. If you want to know what the other ones are, go back and look on the channel. I've done shorter videos. I've done live streams. Okay. If it flips, it ships. Do on one during business hours. That's a great idea. For those of you just joining me, here's my story for today. 2 nights ago, my car broke down. Could barely drive it back. I was having to, you guys ever had to do this? Where you pull up to a stoplight and it's red and you can't really run it because they've got cameras up there in some places, or in this instance, I was pretty sure it was a cop that was at like my 9 o'clock sitting there at the other intersection. And you've got to keep 1 foot mashing the brake down and then keep the other foot down on the gas a little bit to keep from stalling. That was me. I thought I had a coil pack go out, but I had 2 dead cylinders on my 3800 Buick motor, okay? I drive a 2005 Buick LaCrosse, 3.8 liter, otherwise known as the 3800 version 3 motor. Some of you guys are nodding your heads. The rest of you guys, I'll cut to the chase. Lost 2 cylinders. Car would barely even run. I limped it home, okay? Got some parts together. Was hoping it was just coils. That was cheaper. Bought the coil. There's 3 coils. Each one runs 2 cylinders. Replaced the coil. That wasn't it. Had to run up to AutoZone and paid $250, which is why I was thanking you guys for all the generous financial support, because I'm like, I have to get to Lansing. So literally, instead of waiting online for a $75 part that wouldn't get here until Friday, I bought a $250 ignition control module. Okay. While I was under there, I replaced it with, I got the new coils. I got all the plugs and wires. So I got a tune up while I was at it too. But unfortunately, it was the most expensive part in the ignition system. So that's why I didn't do a stream during business hours. Because last night I started on the project, realized it was a little worse than I thought, and I was going to have to dig in a little bit deeper. And today I had under the hood of my car all day. So I'm doing the best I can, guys. And you guys are encouraging me, and you guys are the only reason I'm doing this fight. You guys and everybody else, my family, your families. But man, and this isn't just in respect to your comment. If it flips, it ships. You're a good dude. I've met you personally in real life if I like you. So this isn't in response to you. It's just while I'm thinking about this. It's like, guys, this ain't like McDonald's where you just order me up like I'm a double cheeseburger, a hamburger. If you order me with no pickles and no onions and you get extra pickles and onions, oh well. I'm a small landscaping company. I can barely pay my own bills. I have to work during the daytime. And today I was under the hood of my car because my work truck won't make it into the parking structure at the Capitol. So this might not be the ideal time for some people, but it's the best I can do. So, and I know people that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a year and work from home, and they're doing no videos on this at all. So here I am. I may not be doing as much as some people want me to or when they want me to do it. However, I think I've done more videos on this topic than anybody else I know. This isn't about you at all if it flips, it ships. I promise it's not. I've had a few people lately saying, well, man, you haven't done enough videos on this. I'm like, well, I guess I've only done like 17 videos in the past 2 weeks. I saw a super chat from America the Free. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, dude. And you were being generous just the other night. 556. Hopefully it's not in an AR and it doesn't take a magazine and you're anywhere in the state of Michigan soon, right? Thanks for the super chat, man. He says, love all 2A EDU followers. Let's keep our head above the BS and pray. I definitely recommend that. If you guys are the praying type, I know a lot of you are. Some of them aren't. Some of you aren't. But if you do pray, I would highly suggest that. Highly suggest that. Do you guys have any questions? I'm going to look at the chat real quick, and I'm going to jump off in just 1 second here. But I will read all of the chat afterwards. I just got done reading from this past Friday, my last live stream, and I appreciate you guys being here for sure. What's happening, VA Wolf? Nice to see you, man. Okay, here we go. VA Wolf's giving us some encouragement from Virginia, which is not too dissimilar to Michigan if you look at the demographics. He said, don't let my former governor's friend. Yeah, they're all friends, aren't they? An ally allow the AWB. I just saw this, and the VA were able to hold back an AWB. Look, guys, there's no AWB bill yet. The Speaker of the House, his name's Joe Tate. He did an interview today with the Detroit Free Press, and he said he's open to an assault weapons ban. He wasn't saying that a couple weeks ago. He's a former Marine. They like to say he's a moderate. The oath he took as a Marine and the oath he took as a representative and the oath all of these take wouldn't allow them to even consider any gun control. But here we have it. Here's what I'm noticing. The less people are pushing back, the more they're just going to keep on doing more and more and more. Some of you guys watch all my stuff, and I appreciate that. Tell me if I've got even one witness in here. I know some of you guys heard me. Wasn't it just a week ago? I said, guys, if we don't speak up enough about this, I already have information that behind the scenes, they're willing to put an assault weapons ban on the table. I literally predicted it, what, a week and a half ago on here? And guess what? Now he's in the newspaper talking about it. I'm going to give you guys another prediction. Okay? If we can't speak up and let these guys know that their jobs are on the line, and that we're working on recall petitions. We're not working on them yet legally, but working on getting ready to work on them. You have to watch the way you word these things. And I'm not going to be doing them, but people are getting ready to be working on them. Nobody's working on them yet. They will be. Don't be surprised if you don't see a magazine ban, 10 rounds. Don't be surprised if you don't see that bill. Make a bookmark. Take a soundbite of what I'm saying right now. I hope this isn't true, but don't be surprised if in a week, week and a half from now, I'm up here saying, here's House bill. I'm going to make this up. 4,300. And it's the 10-round magazine ban. Rudy Finney with the super chat. Thanks, dude. I appreciate you, man. I'm not asking for any super chats tonight, guys, but thanks so much. But I did want to thank all of you who have been, who are Patreon supporters. I literally just, like, in an emergency, spent like $200 more on my car than I needed to, so I'll be there. I'll literally be there tomorrow and not only be putting pressure on these people, but try to get you guys some inside scoop and get some reporting done for sure. Taking a quick look at the chat here before I jump off, because I need to do some more work updating those links on my locals page. The link's down in the description for that. Also over on locals, I put up a post. I don't know if you guys saw it, but this Saturday coming up, which some guys watch this on replay, would be the 11th. There's going to be like a dual meet and greet at Supermatch G&A. If you guys are interested, it's over there on locals. I'll try to pin it back up to the top, but you can just scroll down if you sign up tonight. Locals is a place where you can join for free or you can support, but this is a free post over there. And if you scroll through, you'll see I announced the date and time. I'm going to be there along with Michigan State Representative Thompson is going to be there. So if you guys would like to meet a representative or say hi again if you already know her and you're in the area, or if you'd like to meet or say hi to me again, we're both going to be there together, because she's definitely one of the main reasons she ran is to protect and defend the Second Amendment. And I was talking to her and said, hey, let's put your money where, money where your mouth is and go to a gun shop. All these representatives are like, we're going to the Chamber of Commerce meeting. We're going to this. It's like, no, let's go to the gun shop, talk to people. And she thought it was an awesome idea. What's happening, Jane Locke? How are you doing? Horsepower Greed. Look, invite them all to watch my stuff or somebody that's doing a better job than me. I just want to get the word out there. That's my main thing. Watch something. Watch somebody. So we definitely need to let this stuff get going, like big time, as far as in the court of public opinion. What's happening if it flips at ships? I'm going to the state capitol building tomorrow, like tomorrow morning. I'm going to get off of here in just 5 minutes, work on trying to make more sense of this stuff to get some more short, palatable videos ready to go. Do some posts over on locals. So, and then I'm going to be, I don't know. I need to take a shower no matter what. I'll probably try to shave real quick too. I don't know. I just know I'm dirty and covered in grease and whatnot from working on the car all day today. I'm going to be hanging out in the House office building tomorrow for a while. Okay. And then I'll try to make it over to the Senate building either before or after session. And then I'm going to be over. There's a committee hearing going on tomorrow. So look, there's likely to be a vote on gun control tomorrow in the Michigan House of Representatives. There's also a separate committee hearing on more. There's like 27 bills right now, just so you guys know if you just joined. There's a committee hearing on another one tomorrow. There's going through talking to the different reps, seeing where they're at, seeing if I can find a Republican that's starting to waffle, or if there's Republicans that know of other Republicans that are waffling. Trying to still see if there's even one reasonable Democrat, like reasonable at all. That's very, very tough. I'm still trying. There's House session, there's Senate session, there's committees, there's tons of stuff, all within the same block, by the way. It's called the Anderson House Office Building. It's right across the street from the Capitol Building. Just kitty corner from that, across the other side street from the Capitol building would be the Senate building. So I am going to be around there tomorrow. Yes. Ren Brumley, this is definitely a culture war. I've said it tonight 5 or 6 times, and I think you've been around the channel for a while. I've probably talked about the culture war as much as anybody. I definitely agree with you on that for sure, man. I know Lucky Dog. Everyone here is great. Lucky Dog 350X. I know. I wish I was a bigger channel right now. I guess if I cared if I was a bigger channel, I'd probably be a bigger channel, but I've never tried to see how big I could get. Right now, I wish I had 5 million subscribers, but I'm reaching as many people as I can, man. I know there's not enough people here, but I'm glad every person's here. I really, really am. Just for like right now, like if I could just have 5 million subscribers today, I'd like to have hundreds of thousands of people watching this, but I don't. So the more people that we can talk to, though, the better. What's happening, Band Talk? How you doing, man? I know you're out fighting the culture war on your channel. Shout out to you, dude. He says 2A's a missionary of nature's God. Can't ask for better than that. Yeah, these are the laws of nature and of nature's God. That's literally what it says in the Declaration of Independence. What's happening, Raw 77? Nice to see you, man. Crazy Heathen. What's up, Phil? He says, you're doing a great job, brother, because I've seen you at so many rallies. I've seen you at all the rallies I've been at and many more that I couldn't make it to, quite frankly. Yeah, me and Phil have been seeing each other around for years at these rallies. And Jane Locke, you still in here, Jane? Jane's definitely been around. Jamie Stevens with a super sticker. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate that. Let me see if I can find where that went to. I think it just popped up here. Thank you. I appreciate you helping support the channel. And I am literally putting it back in like a lot more than I wanted to today, unfortunately. But thank you, Jamie. VA Wolf for the super chat. Thanks, dude. 223, my friend from Virginia. He says, I'm with you, really, my friend. Man, I've been praying for you guys in Virginia all this time, and I know you're like a true boots on the ground dude in Virginia, and I care about Virginia. I care about all these 50 states. This is America, right? A republic if we can keep it. So I appreciate the support from you across the country, and hopefully, you know, there's a lot of us that care about you guys out there too. Thanks, Political. I appreciate you recommending the channel. I appreciate you hanging out. Nah, no political future for me. I know you meant that as a compliment and you're encouraging me, but nah, dude, that ain't for me. Here's what I do. When somebody's running for office in my area, and I've been focusing on local government, okay? State senator, state rep, all the way down, county board of commissioners, okay? I'll give you an example. So my state senator is Joe Bellino. Did a video with him in his office. Now, that's just what I did to help get you guys information. I'm also texting him, emailing, and calling his office about all of this stuff. State Representative Jamie Thompson, same thing. I tell these people when they're running, I'll support you and I'll be with you. You support the Constitution? Particularly, I focus on the Second Amendment, meaning I love all of it. I care about so many issues, it's not even funny, but I'm still a single issue voter. You could be great on 99 things. If you ever go against the 2A even once, even a scintilla, no, that's it. Unacceptable, out. I'll be with you and I'll support you and I'll have your back to the end. You saw the Second Amendment even once, I'm going to be your worst nightmare. Okay? That's where I'm at with my state senator and representative. Go down to the county commissioner level. I can name you 2 of them, Greg Moore Jr. and Don Asper, and others, because I've spent time getting to know them. Same thing. Go down to my township trustees. I'll call out just one of them right now, Chris Collins. Was just texting him recently, talking to him. Same thing. Know who the people are on all your forms of local government. Hold their feet to the fire if they're failing, if they're not honoring their oath. And this isn't the part that a lot of people like. But this is what I'm doing. This is my job, per se. I don't want to run for office. I'm not going to run for office. However, if they're protecting, we're talking about the Second Amendment right now, obviously, with all this gun control. You pick your issue, pick as many issues as you have time for. I encourage you guys to be active in every issue you have time for, okay? But with this channel, I just have to focus it on one thing. So it's the Second Amendment and obviously firearms and firearms reviews. Guns and gun rights, as the old saying goes, okay? Screaming and yelling at politicians, hating all politicians, you guys all get that. But I challenge you to support the good ones too. They need our support. When my state representative, Jamie Thompson, was seeking recognition to speak on the floor in the House in Michigan just last week, they shut her down. The footage is on the website, and if they stop putting 4 gun control bills a day through, I'll have time to edit that down where you guys can see truly what goes on there. It's not good what goes on there. But when she stood up there to speak, to seek recognition on the floor, it's supposed to be a deliberative body, right? You're supposed to, look, you're supposed to be able to hash stuff out and convince the other side before they vote. That's supposed to be the core and essence, in my opinion, and in the Founding Fathers' opinion of how government was supposed to be run here. They shut her down. Get back in your chair. Shut up. They didn't just shut her down. They shut her down, me down, my family down, and 90,000 Michiganians down when they did that. They do it a lot. A lot more than they should do, a lot more than they should be allowed to do. I'm like, nah, I don't think so. If you're going to stand for the Second Amendment, and there's other key issues too, guys, but that's what this channel is about. If you're going to stand up on that House floor for the Second Amendment, and they're going to try to give you one in the teeth, I need to be there right next to you. So I encourage you guys, for all of these state reps that are actually the fighting kind, that are actually fighting, because I know it's so easy. And there's probably someone thinking, right, come on, dude, there's no such thing as a good politician anywhere. Well, maybe when you get to Washington, D.C., it's almost impossible. But on the state level, there's still some good ones. There's still some county sheriffs that are going to uphold their oath. If your county sheriff's upholding their oath to protect and defend the Second Amendment, you need to be there with them, both morally and physically if need be. Same thing if your township trustee is the fighting kind, meaning in a good way, fighting for your rights, for your free exercise of your rights. City council, if that's where you live, county board of commissioners, your state rep, your state senator, your school board. Not as much with gun control. That's why I don't talk about school board specifically as much, but your school board's important. And that's where I challenge all of you guys. You have to kind of do 2 things at once. The oath breakers need to be held accountable, okay? But the people that are actually upholding their oath on the Second Amendment, in Michigan, it's Michigan Constitution, Article 1, Section 6, have their back because they need it right now. Because the other side is treating them like complete crap. And people from the public are treating them like complete crap. If you go on to Facebook, for example, I have a Facebook page. I know some of you guys do. I don't like Facebook, but it's part of the town square, and that's where you got to get the message out. So I'm putting a lot of stuff on Facebook lately. You'll have a Michigan representative or senator say, you know, I'm against these gun control bills, or we don't need any more gun laws. You know, whatever they say, if it's pro Second Amendment at all, you should see the trolls in there piling on them. These people are getting dogpiled like crazy. What do you guys think about that concept? If you guys are skeptical of what I'm saying, I get it. I get it. There are some good ones. You want me to mention some good names? Okay. So in the Michigan, no, look, that was a valid question I just got asked. I don't know if you were asking a hypothetical or if you were being serious, but I put in a lot of time there. I think you're being serious. I'm going to assume you're being serious when you ask. And you said don't stick to their oath, be fired. I clicked on the wrong one, but that's a good comment, Frederick. Somebody else just said, how do you know which one the good ones are? Okay, I'll tell you a couple. Actually, it was you. It was just a different comment. There you go. Go look up Michigan State Representative Angela Regas. She's in the Caledonia area. Look her up, for example. Look up Michigan State Representative Bob Bazat. That's another one you can talk to. Former county sheriff, former county board of commissioner. Was in the 47th district, but they just gerrymandered it. Livingston County area. That's a good one you can talk to about this stuff. Look up State Representative Jamie Thompson. She sat here for about an hour and a half with me one day and was talking to all of you guys. We answered some of your questions. Yeah, I always like to talk about the Jamies. There's 3 Jamies in the Michigan House. I like most of them. Look up another one called Jamie Green. Jaime Green. Talk to her. Senate, Joe Bellino. He was on my channel. Senator Joe Bellino was on my channel just last week. Well, we'll see what he does on his vote. Look, I'm just telling you, this is the people right now that are fighting hard for it. If they flip their vote somehow, well, then we'll have to hold them like 100 times more accountable. All right. He said they could offer me $70 billion to fix up everything in my whole district. They won't get me to change my vote. He's on the record on my channel saying that. So there's one. There's another one, goes by Missy Hoitenga. She's up from the northern, above Cadillac, but south of Traverse City area. There's a little town called Manton, Michigan. Look up Missy Hoitenga, formerly the House Freedom Caucus leader, now in the Michigan Senate. If you guys want more names, I can literally keep going. Look up Representative Brian Bagol, former sheriff, now state representative. Look up Michigan Representative Alicia St. Germain. You can see a picture of her and I on her Facebook. Just because she took a picture with me doesn't mean you have to like her, but that's a good one to follow. I don't know. I think that was a good question. Look up State Representative Cara. Ask him about the Second Amendment. He's a fighter. Look up Mike Maddock in the Michigan House. Now that I'm mentioning names, I'm going to forget somebody, but I'm literally just going through. Somebody asked for some of them, some of the people. These are all people that I know enough to where if I pass them in the halls at Lansing, they'll say, "Hey, how you doing?" You know, some of them I know to greater extents than others, but people I've actually talked to face to face about this stuff. All right, I'm going to jump off in just a second here. Crazy Heathen said, don't shave. Let your beard grow, brother. Oh, man, your beard looks awesome, dude. Some people can do it with a long beard. Once mine gets, I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? My face is red enough from being out in the wind all day today working on the car, and I have red hair, so once you know what I mean? I don't know. Some of you guys look awesome with huge beards. Once mine gets to where it is about right now, a little bit longer than this, it kind of, yeah. There you go. Jane Locke is not a fan. Okay. See where's he at on the Second Amendment? We'll see where he's at. Yes, Representative Timmy Beeson, right? Was that just a typo? Fun to learn. Timmy's actually like he makes some great barbecue. He's a really good cook, but you probably already knew that. I was there on opening day on the 11th of January, and there's a little conference room at the end of the hallway of these, the House office building, and he had everyone in there for his barbecue that he makes. I'd say he's going to be pretty good on the Second Amendment too. I'm not personally vouching for all these people, by the way. I'm just literally listing you names of people that are probably going to be more on the good side of fighting for the Second Amendment that I've had conversations with. But I definitely encourage you guys to have your own conversations for sure. Well, thanks, Crazy Heathen. I appreciate you, man. And you've been putting out videos too. And I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I believe what you're doing on your channel right now is trying to help strengthen up and win the culture war, right? That's definitely how I look at your videos. And if that's not your intent, then I mean that as a compliment, obviously. But Crazy Heathen on his channel is doing some good culture war stuff. Like I said earlier, the Restore Freedom channel. If you guys go to my recent community post, you'll see a link to the Restore Freedom channel and my most recent one. Just scroll down one or two below that, and you'll see a link to the Crazy Heathen channel. Those are a couple channels here from people that are in Michigan. And I'm not joking. I was literally underneath the hood of my car, and Lori DeVries, can I show you? If I can show you this without doxing her, like, I don't want you guys to see her phone number, but I literally can't make this up. Okay, hold on a second. I'm going to show you guys this real quick here. Okay, here's today. It doesn't show her number on here, so that's good. So this is today, the 7th, right? 4198, prohibiting the open carry of firearms within the local unit of government. Okay. 4203, changing. So these are links she's sending me. Let me keep scrolling through. Okay. She's talking about how she's making a list and sharing my videos, and I'm going to be sharing her list. This is just two friends here in Michigan working together. Then she comes through again. This is over like a 20-minute period. I didn't get back to her yet because I was literally at that point under the hood, right? I said, I'm working on my car right now. I will report on them soon. Thank you. She comes back, no worries, just making sure you're aware. Like, is this what you guys are doing? I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of a plan. Just get back and forth with your friends, and yeah, that's what's going on right now. I will. Okay, hold on a minute. I have to watch what I show from him, but I will just show you guys this. Brendan Boudreau, Great Lakes Gun Rights. He had texted me something just above there, and I'm not keeping this from you all. I'm keeping this from the other side. Like, trust me, some stuff Brendan and I are talking about, if you guys were here, we'd like turn off the camera and I go outside and tell you. But I don't want the other side to see what we were talking about, okay? But I said, yep, I figured so. Just got done working on my car. I'll be doing a video or two tonight. We'll be in Lansing tomorrow. Thanks for the update. And he says, you bet, see you there. So there you go. Brendan Boudreau is going to be there tomorrow in Lansing. And I said, cool, see you tomorrow. So trying to show you guys some behind the scenes just to help you brainstorm. Here's me texting another representative. All right. Letting her know what was going on, because when they're in session, they're not going to know what's going on as it's breaking. I don't know. Just keep spreading the word, guys. We have a culture war that we have to win. And it's not completely all or nothing. That's the last thing I want to leave you guys with. Spread the word on that. This stuff can pass two different ways, and they're both like terrible. But if it does not take immediate effect, that's less worse. 20 out of 38 of the Democrats co-sponsored those bills that are over in the Senate right now. Probably all going to vote on it. But it would take Republicans crossing over with them for it to get immediate effect. And I think we did a good job. I don't want to say I did a good job, but Senator Bellino and Representative Thompson did a good job talking about how that stuff works in that video that I just did last week. So definitely go back and watch that if you didn't. All right, I'm going to take one last peek at the chat here, jump off, and probably go clean up so I can get up in the morning and head to Lansing. Probably be back there Thursday as well, because I think we're going to see major stuff happening each of the next 2 days. Harry Grimley said, smash the thumbs up button, people. Well, thanks for reminding them, man. It helps the algorithm. Maybe someone else from Michigan or wherever will see the video a little more likely, right? Thanks, Frederick. You stand tough too, man. There she is. There's Lori. Keep up the good fight, Lori. I appreciate you. Send me the intel. What's up, Cameron Rhodes? Good night to you, too. Stand behind your sheriff if they're awesome. Crazy heathen saying, I agree. What do you think, Jane? Are you heading up to the Capitol this week? Send me a text if you are. I will be there tomorrow. My car's fixed, and hopefully Thursday as well. Thanks, Chad Noonan. Nice to see you, man. All right, guys. I'm going to get together and try to maybe get a couple short videos filmed tonight. I'll be in the Capitol tomorrow, and just stay tuned. I'll keep you guys up to speed as fast as I possibly can. All right, guys. Take it easy, and please let me know in the comment section when this is done. If you're listening on replay, let me know what you're doing, what you're thinking, and we can all come up with a plan together because it's here. We have to do something. It's here like I've never seen it here before. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.